It's been 10 years since the last Grand Theft Auto game released, 2013. We've gone through multiple console generations up until this point, and I will admit the build-up for GTA 6 has been it's been quite the wait. But because of this, expectations are through the roof, and now people are trying to figure out what's the big secret that's really going to push GTA 6 over the edge and give you kind of that aha moment, as many people I'm sure got with GTA 5 back in the day. Well, we may have got maybe a bit of an answer here from Strauss Zelnick, as he was having a talk, and this is from the Inverse. I wanted to go over this here today because I think this is something that we are going to see come up quite a bit over the next, I'm going to say 4 or 5 years. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new here to the Spawn Wave Plus channel. Let's head over here. This is posted up again by the Inverse, where they attended a talk that Strauss Zelnick had. And during this conversation, he also did kind of double down on the idea that we will see GTA 6 for the first time next month in December, which Rockstar also kind of put out there on Twitter like 8 hours or so after Jason Schreier basically broke the news that a trailer was basically ready to go. And now we're just trying to figure out, is it at the Game Awards in December? Is Rockstar going to kind of put it on its own, which I feel like they may as well. Sure, it'll be at an event, but they drop GTA 6 wherever they want for a trailer, and it's going to break the internet. And I mean, that tweet that just said, hey, a trailer's coming, got over 120 million views in less than 24 hours. Either way, during this talk, Strauss Zelnick discussed the idea of AI in the next Grand Theft Auto. It says how the rise of generative AI could make the next Grand Theft Auto even better. Now, he does say it may be better, but it almost certainly will not be faster or cheaper, essentially talking about the idea that AI could speed up game development or just make it cheaper, really because it may eliminate jobs, which that is a big concern right now for how AI could affect just game development or just really just the technology field across all different sectors right now. But the big thing I noticed is he foresees that a race to adopt AI will force Take-Two to make major investments in developing its own, as in they wouldn't necessarily leverage an AI that's already been created now, but they would make one, I guess, kind of similar to how, so we talk about a lot of these different publishers, developers, these different studios, and their own internal engines that they create. I almost wonder if we're going to get to a position maybe 2 or 3 years from now, where all of them are also developing their own internal AI that can basically plug into these engines for, as he mentions, generative AI with an NPC that you're walking around and you see on the street. And in fact, that's the example he gave here. You can see a little talk going on there. But he says, everyone's working on that. You're a playable character interacting with the non-playable character. That interaction is currently scripted, and the non-playable characters are generally not very interesting. But I mean, he's not wrong about that. You walk around, and a lot of times you hear the same couple of lines kind of recycled as you walk past them. And even some of the reactions you get, let's say in Grand Theft Auto, when you kind of just run someone over with a car 10 feet from another NPC, and they may not care at all. But he says you could imagine all NPCs becoming really interesting and fun. Now, we don't know necessarily if GTA 6 is going to incorporate generative AI, but if it was, I wouldn't necessarily go out there if I'm Strauss Zelnick and just start throwing that around and maybe giving away a major feature that you've spent, I mean, a fortune on to get off the ground and develop alongside of a game that potentially could cross $1 billion in terms of its development and marketing budget. Now, that was something that has been going around online, that this game could cost that much. We're not necessarily sure if that is the case, but during talks and filings and other things that were going on with the FTC, Microsoft, it was kind of brought up that we may have a game that's in development now, just in general across the industry, that people have heard would cost up to $1 billion. And GTA 6 was the first game that came to mind. Not that it's necessarily been in development for 10 years now, because I mean, they were working on GTA Online this entire way, and also things like Red Dead Redemption 2, but it's certainly been developed for quite a while, at least in conceptual stages, and then just full-on development, and I think we still have another couple of years before it comes out. Nonetheless, generative AI being plugged into GTA 6 and then being able to demonstrate the idea that it would make the world feel more alive, would be a jump in terms of open world games. I think that's the biggest thing now is open world games have, well, at first when they were really showing up on the scene, it was this like aha moment of, wow, there's this big world I can just kind of explore on my own. I can go to different boundaries and limits and just kind of navigate my way through without being set to a linear path. But over time, it feels like whenever a new open world game comes out, it's like been there, done that, right? I think having AI kind of weaved in carefully, I will say that, could maybe inject some life into the open world concepts that we've really grown accustomed to. And I'm curious how this would work out for a single player game, which is one of the reasons that I also think GTA 6 and GTA Online are kind of be merged together. Like there won't be a separate single player multiplayer setup. And it's one of the reasons I'm kind of speculating they haven't called it GTA 6 just yet. I don't know if they're going to. I think one of the big secrets about this is if they say incorporate generative AI, maybe they just call it Grand Theft Auto and it just lives on forever. I mean, look, they got 10 years out of GTA 5. What if they have something that they can update over time with AI being part of it as the engine, and it's a 20-year project? It's possible, and that's the thing that I feel like people are catching on to now is their reluctance to call it GTA 6. And I'm wondering if this is one of the reasons. It's an always online game, which we'll see how that goes over with people, but it leans into the idea of GTA Online being this big living world that actually feels like it's alive. So interesting stuff there. It just a little surprising they mentioned, oh yeah, generative AI is pretty interesting, and we may have to maybe develop our own. I don't know, just if one day I wake up and I feel like it. It's almost like maybe they've been kind of working and researching this whole time behind the scenes. But hey, we'll apparently know a little bit more next month when that trailer drops, although I kind of think it's going to be very, very vague in what it shows us, and we still have a bit of a road really ahead of us for this game coming out. Multiple years, most likely. I'm looking towards second half of 2025 for its release. But let me know what you guys think about this down below. Do you think GTA 6 will leverage generative AI? And do you think they're going to lean into the idea of it just being always online and it maybe not necessarily being called just outright GTA 6? Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.